And then extend the right leg and place the sole of the left foot to the earth. Turn a little bit towards me, so it's kind of like a modified Urdhva Matsyendrasana. We're going to wake up the hands a little bit now. So imagine karate chopping the yoga mat behind you. Bring the pinky side of the left hand to the mat a few times. And as you do that, notice the sensations up through the elbow and the tricep, the back of the shoulder. The next time you karate chop the mat, pause there and just bring the fingertips down and the thumb. And notice how your hand is very domed. If it's not, try again, karate chop, and then just relax fingers and thumb. Yeah, you guys look great. Do that a couple of times. Just finding these nice soft hands. And then look at your hand and sort of let that image imprint. This is how we're going to be using our hands in tabletop, in plank, in crow pose. So it might be different than you're used to. Notice how there's more weight on the pinky side, and that thumb joint is soft and supple and not pushing down too much. From here, gently let the spine lengthen. If you need to come onto the fingertips, I have short arms, so I have to do that. That's absolutely fine. And then just gently twist to the left. And then take that left arm, circle it forward, up and back. If you want to lower it down for one last breath, you can. And then just for fun, we'll do a half crow moment. So the two arms plant on an invisible wall in front of you, and then just squeeze that leg in and try to not feel it in the hip flexors, but in the deep core, just like you did on the back. Let the left foot lift and then curl forward. Set the foot down, gently extend it out and pause for one moment in Dandasana, just noticing the sensations through the left side of the body. And then we'll do that same thing to the other side. So you'll be facing away from me. The sole of the right foot comes to the earth. I like to do this nice and wide, so a little wider than my hips, and then just gently twist to the right and start to karate chop the mat with the right hand now. And notice that pathway from the right pinky up to the back of the elbow, the back of the arm, the back of the shoulder. Take some bounces. Imagine you're jumping with that arm and feel how you catch yourself with the support of the back of the body. Make sure the neck feels really relaxed and there's no tension on the top of the shoulder. The next time the hand comes down, let the fingertips rest and the thumb tip. And notice how the knuckles are nice and soft. Look at the foot. Notice that, or the hand, it's like it has arches, just like your foot. Take a breath here. And then as we start to sit up tall, you might need to come onto fingertips, which is fine. And just gently twist to the right. Take a couple of breaths here. Can feel nice to reach out through the left foot and let the left hip reach forward to allow a little more twist up through the spine. And then as you untwist, hands on an invisible wall in front of you, and find those soft hands that we were just practicing, right? Almost like you're palming a basketball. And then just float the right leg, and it can be a little bit curl forward in that half crow position. And then set the foot down. Cross the ankles. Let's do the right ankle in front of the left. Plant the left hand behind you, and we'll flip into tabletop, facing the other direction. Nice, way to go. And we'll wake up the shoulders a little bit extra. Oh yeah, we can go to the next musical track at this point. Lower the elbows down. And start to circle the shoulders around the elbows. This is kind of like the exercise that we did circling the thigh bone and the hip socket. Imagine as you draw these circles, you're waking up all the muscles in each shoulder. Try to feel or build your awareness in the shoulder socket from all angles. You can even start to draw some figure eights, or imagine writing your name in cursive with the back of your heart, just letting the shoulders move in all these different directions. Make sure you're breathing. I just noticed that my spine was arching. See if you can find that neutral spine that awakens the deep core. So neutral pelvis, neutral spine. And then float onto the hands. And imagine, just like we did before, imagine you're jumping with the arms, and take a few little jumps, letting the hands land naturally, and make sure there's a little bend in the elbow and that the elbows are squeezing in towards the body. And you want to make sure this doesn't feel jarring in your shoulders, in your neck. Use your core to support you so you can land in slow motion. And then bring the hands underneath you. Walk them forward, one hand print. Tuck the toes underneath. Glide the left foot back. And then press into the hands to lift the hips up and back into a staggered down dog. Take one deep breath here. And then slowly start to drop the right knee and let the left foot glide forward nice and wide into your lunge. So the left foot steps outside of the hands. Push back knee and front foot down into the earth to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. If you want to grab your blanket here to place it underneath your knee, you can. And then make sure the hips are right over the knee, nice tall spine here. Walk the front foot forward and to the left until you feel like the hips are supported and have some space. And then interlace the hands and start to I'm just trying to remember which way I want the hands flipped here. Start to press the palms away from you. As you press the palms away from you, notice how the shoulder blades slide a little wider on the back, and see if you can breathe into the back of the heart just like we've been practicing. And then let the elbows bend. Bring the backs of the hands to the heart so then you sort of soften. And let's try that again. Let's inhale, push the hands forward, breathe into the back of the heart. And this time, let the spine round just a little bit. And then inhale, back up. And do this a couple of times. And try to feel that the curving isn't just coming from the upper spine, but all the way down the low back. Maybe you even feel the hips move a little bit. If you want to let the front leg participate as you round, try kicking into the front leg just a little bit. And then we'll explore pushing the hands down. So bring the same interlaced hands down into the front thigh, and imagine you're like trying to get out of a pool. Bend the elbows and then push down to pull yourself out of the pool. This turns on serratus anterior. For those of you in the rise training, you can take a couple of these pushes and feel how now the shoulder blades glide down and wide. When my shoulders do that, I feel like my head and neck can really like emerge from my shell. And then come back up to, actually one more. As you push down, tuck the back toes and play with taking the weight out of the back knee. Maybe you can even lift the back knee, but don't do that if it doesn't feel good. You can just have the visualization of it. And now shift the weight back into the back knee, lower it back down, and flip the palms away and slowly circle the arms up until there's like a moment of resistance when you can let the arms be free, and just take a big spacious breath and notice that spaciousness through the heart, through the shoulders. You can stay still and breathe, or you can sway a little bit in the wind. And then release the hands down. You can keep the left foot where it is, or if you want a little bit more here, you can lift the back knee. I'm going to go 3/4, and you can lift the front foot for another version of half crow, right? And the most important thing here in any position is try to feel where the tricep and the knee meet and squeeze them together. And then set the foot down. If it isn't already, drop the back knee, and we're going to do a couple of pulses. So you'll roll up to that exalted, spacious Anjaneyasana, and then try to keep that sense of spaciousness as you come down, and either just squeeze the tricep and knee together, or lift that foot for the half crow. We'll just take a couple of those, trying to find as much ease as possible, which might mean that you're not lifting the foot, right? Know thyself. We never want to build tension with our practice. Next time you lift, pause there, let the shoulders relax completely, and then shake it out. Make sure to shake out the hands. And then we'll do the other side. So bring the knee underneath you, release the hands down, walk them forward, one hand print, tuck the toes under. Glide now the left knee back, or the left foot back to wake up the deep core, and then lift the hips up and back. Oh, wrong way, sorry. Lower the knee, bring both knees underneath you, glide the right foot back, and then come into that staggered down dog with the right foot back. And sway the hips a little bit. And then prepare to step the right foot forward. We'll slowly lower the left knee, let the right foot swing wide outside of the hands, and then roll up. Interlace the hands. Bring the hands to the heart, relax the shoulders, take a couple of breaths, letting the rib cage rise up into the shoulder girdle. Make sure the neck and side neck, tops of shoulders feel nice and soft. And then as you exhale, or as you inhale, start to press the hands forward and breathe into the back of the heart. And then exhale back up to center, and take a couple of these. Let your spine start to round forward using the muscles of the deep core. You can kick into the front leg a little bit and try to feel the length in the low back, not too much rounding in the neck or upper spine. And then as you come back down, up, flip the palms, push them on your leg, that getting out of the pool move. Bend the elbows a little bit, and then push the hands down. Feel the rib cage reaching up, filling the space underneath the shoulders. Try to keep a neutral spine. And then for that extra challenge, as the hands push down on the thighs, you can play with lifting the back knee, or just taking the weight out of it, but not lifting it if that's too much. And then we'll all lower that knee, start to reach the palms away from you, slowly lifting them up. And then when there's that moment of feeling bound, free the hands and feel that spaciousness, not just physically, but try to feel it in your heart. Take a couple of breaths, smile a little, and try to relax and feel content. And then release the hands down inside of the foot. Try to find those soft hands that we practiced earlier, where it's a little extra weight on the pinky. You can even karate chop each hand, and then just set fingertips and thumb tip down where the knuckles are nice and soft. For this first round, let's just lift the back knee, shift the weight forward into the hands, and feel the tricep and the right knee squeezing together. And then lower the back knee, roll up into your exalted Anjaneyasana. So you have the option to just keep doing that, just to practice nice, easy, supportive hands. If you want a little bit more, this time you can lift the right foot, squeezing the knee to the outside of the hands for our half crow. Make sure you're breathing. I wasn't breathing. If you're not breathing, you're building a dysfunctional pattern that's not strong. And so really it's so much better to stay in that space of ease and fluidity and full natural breathing. And that's how you're truly going to get stronger. Even if it means it looks like you're not doing the pose on the outside, you're doing the true yoga on the inside. And the next time you roll up, pause there, relax the arms down and shake it out. And then bring the right knee underneath you. Move the blanket off to the side. We're not going to need it for a little while now. And start to lift the hips, bend the knees generously, and sway the hips from side to side. We're eventually coming up to standing, so if you have a favorite way to come up to standing, go for it. My favorite way is to anchor my big toes, bend my knees, letting my hips drop towards the heels, and then to slowly level the pelvis. And as soon as the pelvis levels, my spine naturally starts to stack. And come up to standing. And notice that moment where the rib cage or the shoulders land on the rib cage. Just feel that support underneath the shoulders. And really having strong arms, having a strong upper body comes from having strength in the deep core and integrating that into the upper body. It's not really about the arms anyway.